Look at all this loot! DJ, none for you! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I am a shameless fan of getting free stuff. And the free stuff that we have here, I don't even know how long ago this particular saga started. Reolink reached out to me a while ago and said, hey, would you like to review one of our cameras? And I said, sure, that could be interesting. I would like to review a camera, a security camera. But they sent it to me, and then it became obvious that in order to actually operate it, you have to have the control box. And they had not sent me the control box, they had just sent me the camera. So I'm like, okay, we'll send you a control box. And before the control box had even gotten to me, they realized, oh shoot, you need the router, which I think is what this is, in order to operate, for it to all operate together. So they sent me that, and it's finally all arrived, and I finally remembered that I need to do this video. So I'm gonna be sitting down today in the shade in my house where it's nice and air conditioned because it's really warm, and figuring out how all this works, and hopefully setting up a better home security system for myself, home camera system. I will probably end up getting more of these cameras and putting something together. It's entirely possible, it would be really, really cool if there's a way to integrate this into, say, the Makerspace, and then use that for streaming, you know, events here at the Makerspace. We'll see. We will see. I have no idea how any of this works. I'm going to be reading manuals for most of the rest of the day, probably, and filming once I actually have the slightest idea what I'm doing. So, here we go. Right, I got it all set up, and it's really quite ridiculously easy to set up. You plug in all the things, turn the things on, and boom, it works. Getting it set up to your network is not much more difficult. I don't have internet out here in my shop, unfortunately. I don't have a long enough Ethernet cable yet. Someday we'll have internet out here. But when I had it set up in the house, I was able to just plug it into my router, and then I was able to connect through the app on my phone, and I can access the camera and control the camera via my phone. I can even make the camera say things via my phone. I can just talk and yell at whoever's on the far side. I have really poor internet, so the audio was just completely garbled, but the functionality is there. It's just a matter of me having really slow internet. Someday, I'm looking at some options. Anyway, video camera quality is ridiculously good for a security camera. You always see security footage and it's all grainy and you can't tell what it is. This is in color, it's in focus, it auto-focuses, you can zoom into what you want. You can change the color saturation, the sharpness, all that stuff to make sure you're getting the best possible quality footage. You can also, let's get this aimed at me a little bit more. What is your boggle? There we go. What was I going to say? It records audio as well as video, so I mean, I could hypothetically be filming this on this if I had a way to actually record it, which I don't currently. It didn't come with that. This is to demonstrate what was sent. In the features, you can set your storage, so if you plug in, I don't know if it takes internal hard drives, I assume you can also plug in external hard drives, and it gives you storage options. It can control a lot of cameras. They only sent me one, obviously, for the demo, but it's got 4 ports for plugging in switches, and each switch holds at least 8 cameras, so it'll do up to, I mean, that would be 32. The system seems to go up to 36, so there must be another way to plug in 4 more that I'm not aware of. Pretty nifty. The system they sent me does require all 4 parts, like I mentioned earlier. First, they sent me the camera, but for the camera to go somewhere, you have to have the receiver. They sent the receiver, but it turns out it was a power over Ethernet camera, and this is not a power over Ethernet receiver, so they sent me the power over Ethernet switch, and now it all works. But it was just plug it all in, and the system just came on up. The monitor was my own. If you obviously have to be able to plug it into a monitor, though you don't need it, because again, you can connect it through your phone. It's a lot easier to set up some of the things through the monitor than through your phone. Obviously, it's a much bigger display. But it's pretty nifty. Some other nifty features is this does, in fact, have a built-in spotlight, and it's really bright. Now I'm seeing spots. The other thing that it automatically does is if it suddenly gets dark, boink, it goes in the night vision mode, which is pretty cool. Now, the camera has built-in motion sensing. Gonna pop back here in a second. There it goes. It does have a motion sensor built into it, so you can set it to automatically record if it detects movement, which is kind of the whole point of a security system, and you can have it on constantly, or why should it record if it's not seeing anything? Well, you can set it for, how long to record after it sees movement. You can have it set alerts that, sends, stuff to your phone. You can have it automatically set off alarms. It does have an alarm feature where, I found the button. And that's again something you can just activate from your phone and just have it go off. Seeing me, seeing me, seeing me. I'm all over the place. Yeah, so this is really cool. I've been wanting to upgrade my system, and this has definitely made that much, much easier, because now all I need to do is get more of the cameras rather than more of everything else. And, of course, a lot of cabling, because if I want them to be, far apart, it's power over Ethernet. I have to use Ethernet cables. They do have their own, it can have its own power source. So you could do, hypothetically, a wireless system, I think. Or that would allow you to eliminate the switch, but then you have to have, power cables and all of that, so Ethernet, power over Ethernet's just a lot more convenient. So, yeah, there are buttons on the front if you don't want to have a mouse plugged into it that shows you the menus and all of that. And you can navigate around. Pretty neat. It will allow you to plug in a mouse. I haven't found a way to plug in a keyboard. It doesn't seem to have keyboard drivers or whatever. Yes, there is incidentally, a slight delay on the camera, but it's not bad. So yeah, really, really cool. I did test like I said, I tested it on my phone and was able to, yell through the camera and all that jazz. Definitely very pleased to have acquired this, to have been sent this. I could go into more features, but we'd be here all day, and this isn't a how to use, it's a is this decent. Well, given how ridiculously plug and play the whole system is, it really was just plug in everything and turn everything on, and boom. There was a little bit I had to do with my phone. I had to connect my phone on my local network to get it to detect, and then I could do through just any network. So, I could hypothetically look at my camera from France and yell at it, though I'd hate to know what the lag would be on the audio. It would probably come out sounding German. So yeah, this is really cool. I very much appreciate Reolink sending me this, because, like I said, this was something I was wanting to get. If you are looking for a real simple to set up home security camera system, I can recommend this one. I don't know about prices because they just sent the stuff to me, but ease of use, I'm genuinely impressed how easy it was to set this up. So yeah, gonna have to get me at least 1 or 2 more cameras, get them set up in various places. Someday it would be lovely if the audio and the video were good enough on this that I could actually use it for streaming, like events here in the makerspace, just to have various camera angles. I'd need to get a lot of Ethernet cable to do that, but it would make it very easy. It would also be cool if I could use, set up a router that went out to the arena and had cameras set up in the arena that this was detecting, and then live stream that. I don't know how plausible that is. I don't know how well this would work. I would probably wouldn't be until at least 2027 when we get fiber out here and I can actually have a gig connection. Then I could probably stream something like that. But it's definitely on my radar, and this is definitely, hopefully, a jumping off point for that. So quality, the video quality is really quite fantastic, especially how much you can zoom and focus and all of that. So, if I want to zoom in, it auto refocuses. You can also manually focus if you want to focus on something that's not currently focused. No. Focus. There we go. It's focused. Zoom back out. Pretty nifty. Doesn't have the ability to rotate the camera. I'm sure they have a feature for that, but it's probably a much more expensive camera than they felt like sending me. Yeah, pretty nifty. And I do believe I have blathered enough. So, Reolink, my thanks for sending. So, Reolink, my thanks to you for sending me this. Links will be down in the description. If you're looking for something like this, thank you for watching. You ratting me out? I've been ratted out!